Why are you dropping some light?
Man, I feel like at this point in my career, I've been making music. Thank you for the question, by the way. I feel like at this point in my career, there's such a push and a drive internally in my own mind for me to, like we were just talking about off camera, like cook up some conceptual, more complex type of music,
Yeah.
And it's a real cliche answer, bro, but like, I don't know if I'm sure you noticed the state of hip hop right now, the state of this music shit is just the biggest artists are just making music that comes from the roots of where they're from.
That's right.
They're making music that's braggadocious. They're making music where they're pumping their chest.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like where I'm at in my life right now, I was cooking up some music that was super complex and conceptual for the last like 6 months, and then it just kind of aligned to where I felt it was time just to have a little bit of fun with it. There's a line on one of the songs on the EP where I'm just like, I really hit my stride this year. I'm having fun with it. And I know that I'm capable of the more complex music. So I think for this time, it was just time to go in and just do something that was like a quick little 1-2 punch. You know what I mean? That's the whole vibe of the EP. So
I love that, man. So take me back to that moment where you started the EP. What was that like? What inspired it?
It was about 2.5 months ago. Okay. So not too long ago. This has been a quick rollout for me. Yeah. One of my quickest rollouts ever for any project I've ever done. So there's this cat that I've known for a while. His name's Gmo. Okay. He's a producer. He lives out in San Jose. Shout out Gmo. Yeah, man. This is really a dual effort with him. So I've known him for a few years. He used to have a residency at a studio that I used to go and work at a lot out in Fremont. My boy Joe Reiser's studio. Okay. And we disconnected for a couple of years. You know, me and Gmo. Yeah. Okay. Nothing happened. We just kind of went our separate ways. We never really crossed paths too much. Yeah, we didn't really get any good time to converse back in the day. But I forgot who tapped in with each other. He might have reached out to me or something like that. And he pulled up to the crib, to the studio. This man's a workhorse, bro. He's got millions of beats ready. Like He is the hardest working, one of the hardest working producers I know. He just came with a couple beats. I was liking the vibe. Mm-hmm. I was kind of in the mood to do like some West Coast, like braggadocious stuff because I was listening to a lot of GNX at the time. I mean, that album was everywhere. You know what I mean? Right. So that's just kind of the sound that piqued my interest in the moment, and I wanted to do some stuff, some music that people out here could relate to, and it would sound relatable to them. You know? Yeah. That's just kind of the vibe I was in. So yeah, he pulled up one time, had a couple beats laid out. We rocked it, and a week later, we had 3 tracks.
3 tracks. And it's 5 tracks on the EP total,
5 tracks on the EP. I flew out of state for a week, so that kind of delayed the rest of the EP. But as soon as I got back home, got back to work, knocked out the final 2 tracks, and we had 5. And, like, the weeks after that, I was making adjustments, mixing, doing my masters and everything. But the whole EP, just the whole creative aspect, was pretty quick. Yeah. 2 to 3 weeks.
Man, so before I have you take me to the first song you made, I really want to know, because when I met you, you were very hands-on with everything that you do. Like, you produce your own beats, right? You mix your own vocals, master your stuff, for the most part, right?
100%, yeah.
So what I'm curious about is, what did it feel like to not be, like, not that you weren't in the driver's seat, but what did it feel like to not do that? To not produce your own beats this time around?
It was a great break and a breath of fresh air.
Okay.
Because, last time I was on the show, we talked a lot about the artist camp that I threw.
Right.
And for that, it was a lot of, maybe I wasn't involved in every single step, but, I was making all the beats. I was engineering every session. And I've been doing that for my own music and a lot of other people's music. Your music, 30s music, everyone's music, And
out here cooking. Damn near everyone we interview. Shout you out.
Damn near, bro. And I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. But you were saying?
No, it's all good. I appreciate the love. But yeah, so I think it was nice to get a little bit of a break. And it's my thing is, like, it's always powerful when you get to step into the boots of an artist. Right. Where the artist has my favorite hat to wear. I always tell everyone my biggest thing is, like, I knew growing up I didn't want to be an engineer first. I love the process of engineering. I'm super thankful that, I've been given the gift to understand how to do it all, and make my music fully self-sufficient. But I definitely think it was time to take a step back and, like, just kind of approach some music from, like, an artist first perspective and standpoint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something I've been waiting to do for a long time. So I'm glad I got the opportunity to do it with Gmo. And it was fun, man. It was kind of nice just to have the beats there and I could just start writing. Because, when you produce, you're sitting there listening to a beat for 3-4 hours sometimes. Man. And then by the time you write, it's like, it's not it's not piquing your interest as hard as it was when you first finished like the first 4 bars or like the loop, or you got that chorus with all the instruments and layers laid down. So
yeah,
it was just kind of nice to have them pull it up, have it ready. And we went in, bro. It was fun.
Well, that in essence, so everything you just said about the production of like the beat, you're working on it for 4 or 5 hours, however long it takes you.
Yeah.
That is an engineer or producer's way of writing, right?
Yeah.
That you
100%.
make that beat. So you did write for 4 or 5 hours, however long it takes you, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now take me back. First song you cooked for this.
For the project?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which one was it?
Yeah, which one was it?
We did Shotgun.
So
that's the one where we got the video that should be out by the time this interview drops.
Oh, it'll be out.
Yeah, it'll be out. But yeah, man, that's the one that you pulled up to. That one was dope. That one was a strong concept from the beginning. Because a lot of what I do, like on my time away from music, is I'm driving somewhere with my lady. I love those like smooth late night driving tracks.
Yeah.
And this one had a real West Coast vibe to it. The second that the beat played, I knew it was a dunzo. You know what I mean? I knew I was going to put something crazy on it. And that was the first song we cooked up. It was the first. So I wrote all and recorded all the tracks with GMO not there. And then, but that first night he pulled up is when he kind of delivered all the beats and everything. And we got that all squared away. But yeah, Shotgun was the first one, man. That one came quick. I finished it in like 3 hours.
3 hours.
So that was the first track.
That's faster than your typical tracks, right? I mean, obviously because you're producing and stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. I knew like I said earlier, the approach with this EP was just to make quick, real, fun, like feeling tracks. You know what I mean? There's not really crazy stories on this EP. It's just a lot of braggadocio, a lot of strong emotion, and just going hard.
It's funny you say braggadocio, man, because I feel like a lot of rap that's made is like not rooted in braggadocio, but it happens, right?
Yeah.
Almost naturally as an MC, we feel like that need sometimes.
It's a culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm curious about is what pushed your pen on this one? Or if you want to take me back further, what pushes your pen in general? But I really, in the terms of this EP.
Let's talk about the feeling and the momentum going into the project.
Right.
Because, there will be so many opportunities to talk about my historical pen. And
that's there we go.
That's a great question, though. I appreciate the question. I knew that going into 2025, I wanted to take different approaches. I think with 2024, my whole focus was like, I'm going to do all the beats myself, all the engineering, all the vocals, recording, mixing, mastering myself. And that was a great process. I learned a lot. I had a really big output last year. I did the 8-week Friday after Friday run of just dropping. I did 2 big summer songs that were like some of my favorites I ever did.
Yeah.
And I put out 2 at the end of the year. So it was busy, and I think going into this year, I wanted what people might notice about my output last year is every single song was a different vibe. Week to week, you could not guess what I was going to give you. You know what I mean? And
I remember that.
Yeah, and that's just because I was cooking and like I got a lot of different emotions when I work on music. So I feel like 2024 was just like a hot pot of music, and like I threw it all in, mixed it around, and that was fun and people liked it. But with 2025, I wanted to have a more focused vision. I'm currently viewing my year in like 2 different steps, right? Step 1 is SUMN LIGHT. I'm coming out the gate. It's the beginning of the year still. March is early. And I wanted to drop something that was hot, that was fresh, that was just in your face. You know what I mean? Cutthroat, super, super sharp tracks. The end of the year, though, is going to be the more slowed down section where it's going to be a bigger project. My album, more conceptual, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
Longer songs, beat changes, features, just approaching it differently, right? But yeah, SUMN LIGHT, bro. It's just my bad. What was the question? The initial question again.
You were cooking. I
went off on a little tangent there.
Yeah, no. I said, what pushed your pen for this project?
Pushed my pen. Thank you.
You were talking about braggadocio before.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I think it was just hip hop is in a state right now where it's very visceral.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like everything that everyone's doing right now is either they're making a statement about their career or they're reacting to something else that's going on. And for me, I think it was time to talk my shit a little bit. Right. 2024 had a lot of successes, bro. A lot of highs. We got a lot of accolades. A lot of my tracks did really well, and I met a lot of dope homies such as yourself. And
thank you.
We made thanks, man. Yeah, of course, man. We made some dope stuff happen. So I think it was just time to talk my shit because I feel like I've been hustling.
That's right.
And it was just time to let it all out. I had a lot of pens of energy, and I just wanted to flex a little bit.
Right. And I like
it was time.
What I'm curious about, man, as an artist, because I have seen you. Not seen you, I've heard you on different songs, right? If I didn't know who you were, I would listen to a lot of your songs, and like you said, you get a different bag of emotions. You never know what you're going to get. what I'm curious about is knowing you personally. You're a very humble dude, right?
Yeah, for
very
sure.
nice. You're the kind of guy, and I mean this. When I met him on the set of his Real video, right, with Nef the Pharaoh, you shook everybody's hand.
Yeah.
And that was something that had shocked me because not because I didn't expect that from you, but because I don't expect that from people, period.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't walk into an office at work and the boss is shaking everyone's hand at the start of the shift, right?
Yeah.
So it was just like, man, that's crazy. So what I'm curious about is it difficult for you to push yourself to talk your shit? Not in terms of like, can you think of something to brag about? I'm sure you can. But is it difficult for you to step out of like the humble zone and start talking your shit? Because you really do talk that shit on this
yeah,
project.
For sure. Yeah. That's a good question. To be honest with you, man, not really.
Okay.
I see how you can see that, but I don't know. I feel like when I'm on record, the pen just kind of does what it does.
Right.
You know, and my thing is like, I get this question sometimes where it's like, do people will ask me like, do you envision like Jorden Kyle as like an alter ego when you're on record a little bit? And like, I really did not, but low key lately I've been thinking about that question. It's been on my mind, and I don't know, maybe I do, maybe I really don't, but I think when I get asked that question, maybe I do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like starting to enter my mind a little bit. I think Jorden Kyle is like an output for me, bro. It's like a place where I don't like to be super forceful in real life. I just like to be the quietest in the room and let my work do the talking. Right. You know what I mean? But on this record, man, like I said, the pen just did what it did. Like the words just kind of came, and I think it was a good outlet for me to get up some pent-up frustration and a lot of pent-up energy out, and it was healthy, man. It felt like a therapy session. You know what I mean? And like, even though the songs aren't talking about heartbreak or depression, it
comes from that place.
It comes from that place for sure. And like, I'm not trying to hurt no feelings, and I'm not trying to step on anyone, but I think it was a moment for me to really just let it all out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, as an MC, I don't know who you're referring to when you say hurt feelings, but as an MC myself or anyone listening to this, I would I think that it would be healthy for anybody listening to Braggadocio where you're saying shit like, look, none of you can fuck with me on any given level. It's not like to be a personal dick where it's like, is he talking about me? It's more so like, dude, then step your pen up.
100%.
If you feel something about it, let's get out here. Think about what you said. This was inspired by the state of hip hop right now.
Yeah, that's really what's inspired by. Like, I really want to make it clear, like, this is not about any particular situation or any particular individual. Right. Like, this was really just from a place where, like, I saw artists that I look up to talking their shit.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this is what the world's feeling right. This is what the culture's feeling right now. It's just banging beats, you know, heavy 808s, West Coast style, sine waves and everything like that. And I was just like, this is just this is where the energy is for me right now.
Right.
And Gmo came through at the right time, and the sound was there. And
like the universe puts you guys together.
Exactly.
In the same room.
Exactly. And like, I think like one thing I'll say real quick, and I'll let you get back to it, is like 2025, the first move I made on an official release level, I wanted it to be a statement, and I wanted it to be a little packaged product. You know what I mean? Like, I did the singles, I did the 2-packs. Now I was like, okay, I'm going to market this as an EP because this is an era for Jorden Kyle. You know what I mean? This isn't just another drop where I'm like, okay, new song coming out. It's been a few months since I've dropped. Nah, this is an era for Jorden Kyle. This is a sound for Jorden Kyle. I may or may not ever return to this sound on this level or in this way, but the stars align, and it's just what I was inspired by the last 2 months. And I was like, nah, this is a moment for my career that I envision in a different pocket or a different corner than like a typical single rollout or something like that. So that's why I'm marketing it the way I am.
And I do like the rollout a lot. I want to go back to something you said. You said you got a lot of frustration out, right?
Yeah.
What are some things that frustrate Jorden Kyle?
It's a good question. I think being overlooked. Okay. I think being underrated. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah.
Can you, I'm sorry to cut you off,
please.
But tell me what that feels like. Because put it this way, all right?
Yeah.
There are people watching right now who don't have like a Nef the Pharaoh feature, myself included, right?
So it ain't the key to success. Let me tell you.
I know, but let me cook. Right?
Please
I
cook.
guess what I'm saying is like, I know when I've met people in my life who has, say, 10,000 followers, right? And before I met them, I'm like, man, like this person got motion here. And then you meet them and they say, honestly, I'm just trying to figure it out. Like I feel overlooked. I'm like, wait, what? You feel, I got 200 followers by the time I'm talking to this person, right? So when you say you feel overlooked, like walk us through, what do you mean by that? What does that feel like?
The job is never done.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I think last year I was figuring out my content strategy. And last year was the first year where I it was the first year ever in my career where I can look at my output in terms of like songs and releases and content and say, I upped my level. I upped my game a lot last year. The year before that, I dropped 2 songs. Real was a big song, but I didn't push it the way I should have. I didn't do content around it the way I should have. 2024 is really the year where I learned how to be comfortable doing content. And I always had this thing where I was like, I don't want to make repetitive content. Right. I don't want to shoot in the same place. But bro, like we talk about this, the way that the game is right now with Instagram and Twitter and TikTok, like not everyone's going to that follow you is going to see your content the first time.
Right.
So that's why right now I'm just in a hard mode, bro, where I'm just like, okay, I dropped a reel last week. I'm not going to drop the same reel, but I'm going to throw it on the story 4 or 5 times. I'm not going to let y'all miss this one. You know what I mean? Because well, it's like you with your video, bro. You're about to put out a 7-minute almost music video. Yeah. That's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, thinking, staying up late, eyes glued to the screen, bloodshot eyes, right? And it's like, nah, motherfuckers gonna see this.
They have to.
You know what I mean? That's just kind of the mode I'm in right now, bro. Is just what frustrates me is just the fact that I thought last year I went super hard and still more work to do. There's still more accolades to earn, and that's why this year I'm really just announcing that I'm here for this.
Yeah.
And I'm not stopping until I get it, bro.
I appreciate
that's just kind of the mode I'm in right now. You know,
first of all, I fuck with that mindset heavy.
Appreciate it,
right? Because there are a lot of people out there, the same people that we're talking about, where it's like you compare yourself to other people, and you think, man, because I'm not on this person's level.
I'm so bad at that, bro. I do it all the time.
And I was just about to ask you, do you ever find yourself comparing?
All the time, bro. All the time. I'm not going to lie. I'm not like some monk. You know, I got thoughts seeping in my mind all the time, bro. I got weaknesses just like the next man. You know what I mean? Right. So I think this EP helped me realize that I am good at what I do.
Right.
And I think it's time to be a little less humble. Not be an asshole, you know what I mean? Because it's never the type of energy I want to give off. Because I'm always here to help artists the same way that I'm working on my own career. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to be some shut-in, like some recluse, and I'd never put myself on a pedestal.
It's about knowing your worth.
Knowing my worth, and it's just an energy shift, man. It's just about flicking that switch and being like, I don't want to go create today, but I'm going to go create today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Getting through those slumps.
Dude, knowing your worth is so important because, you know, you put something out late last year, or I want to say 3rd or 4th quarter of last year, where you said, look, like, if you're coming to the studio, this is the rate now, right? And I remember having a conversation with you about that, and it really was about, look, if you're serious about what you do, the rate is not the issue because you know that you have the quality stuff. Yeah. Right? And if you think about it, the stuff that they're getting for your studio time, and this is where I'm getting with that, is, to me, that's not necessarily like you're talking about. That's not being an asshole. Yeah. That's you saying, nah, I'm cool. Right?
Yeah, it's just knowing what's worth your time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
If I have a song where I say, hey, Jorden, I think you sound great on this feature and this is nothing but clown noises, you're not going to be like, dude, honestly, I don't care if you offer me $1,000 for this feature. This is not my brand. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So walk me through, again, going back to the frustration question, I appreciated your answer and your transparency. What do you feel like is going to make you have that sense of, okay, I am recognized now? What is the metric for you? Do you even have a metric?
I don't have a particular metric, but I know there's going to be a day in the near future where I'm going to look at everything I've amassed, right? I'm just going to, I scroll through my Instagram feed and I look at old content. I see where I could have done better. I see my pitfalls and things that I can improve on. I think there's just going to be a moment where I'm like, yeah, like, I don't want to say I made it because that's a little weird. It's a little corny in my opinion, but like I said, like, the work is never done.
Right.
You know what I mean? But and like I said, there's not a particular metric. I just think there's going to be a moment where I realize that I've achieved what I wanted.
Okay.
And I'm just going to keep working until I get that notion. And that notion is not going to come from outward validation, even though I really do appreciate all my supporters, everyone that rocks with me in the music. But it's going to come from within.
Right.
It has to come from within, bro.
Because if it doesn't come from within, then you're always going to chase it and you'll never have it.
And I will always be chasing something for sure. And there's going to be a moment in my life where I've achieved what I feel I can in music and I move on to the next chapter. Not saying that is anytime soon, but there's more to life than the art for sure, you know? And, but as of right now, what I'm chasing is just that moment.
Right.
That moment where I realize that, yeah, I did what I set out to do. Mm-hmm. And that could be that. I'm not saying that's a dollar amount. I'm not saying that's a view count on a video or streams on a song or reshares on an album or even likes on a post. It's just going to be a moment where I realize it's been worth my time. Right. It is right now. It's all worth my time, but it's really gonna be worth my work, my like efforts and time.
100%, man. Yeah. So take me back to this EP. You sent me a song, Respect.
Respect Me, yeah.
Respect Me, right?
Yeah.
In that song, you say that you took a detox, right?
Mm-hmm.
That detox. Were you referring to like studying up on game, like learning the content stuff, or what was that detox for you?
It is. I always do this at the end of the year. Like my thing is, I did drop 2 songs on New Year's Eve, but that was just kind of like to get them out because I was kind of washing myself of last year. Those are songs that I was preparing for like another 8-week drop towards the winter tail end of last year. Didn't move forward with it because I wanted to kind of recount what I did last year and how can I come into 2025 bigger and better, right? That's why I slowed down a little bit with the posting, with the songs and whatnot. But I think going in, like my detox every December is just kind of game planning, bro. Like what did I do this year that was great? How can I bring it into this next year? Continue that success, continue that energy. What didn't go so well? What can I upgrade? What do I need to get rid of? What do I need to drop? Right. Mm-hmm. And I think 2024, because I said I spent so much time in November and December around my birthday, around New Year's, just reviewing how my 2024 went. My detox, it was both literal and metaphorical. Okay. Literal was I did a juice cleanse.
Okay.
I did it like a 2-day.
Did that go well?
It did. And my thing is when I do juice cleanses, I still eat a little bit. So it's not a full 100% cleanse, but it's more so just I'm minding what I eat in the morning. I started taking vitamins again, making sure I'm getting 8 hours of sleep. I'm spending at least 30 minutes to an hour in the sun, every single day, if not more. And I'm also making sure that at least once a day, I'm game planning some future event for my career, whether it's us doing this, whether it's shooting a performance-based video, whether it's, linking up with some homies to make content. Every single day, I need to at least be making sure that something I already have planned is still in motion, still in the works, or is I'm making new plans. So that's kind of just... it was a mindset shift, bro, because October, November, December of last year, I was just kind of going through the motions, and I didn't really have any strategic plans. I didn't know what I was going to do this year at all. And then when the EP started getting made, and I was okay, this is I kind of started envisioning what my 2025 looked like. So it's a mental detox and a physical detox as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I like that, man. I feel like everyone should do a detox because, I found even with my album after doing it, I'm like, man, you know what? Like, I don't want to just rush into anything, whether it's a fun project or not, because you need that time to recuperate what you just did. Like last year, I know you were saying that, like you dropped all those songs both those songs on New Year's Eve to rid yourself of 2024. But if you think about it, you worked pretty damn, from my perspective, you worked pretty damn hard in 2024. And it sounds like you're still going that way. So what I'm curious about is that hard work with SUMN LIGHT, right? What do you feel like if you say, okay, these are the hardest bars I put on these 5 songs? If I had to tell you, what is your hardest song? If I had to ask you, what is your hardest song on SUMN LIGHT? What would your answer be?
Love that question. It's definitely the intro, Off My Chest.
Okay.
Off My Chest. It has like this little it's a short song. It's like a minute something. It's the second song I did. It's the quickest song I've ever made. And it's the quickest. It only has 1 verse. It's the quickest verse I ever wrote. I do this weird thing right now where I'm like a hybrid write on my notes app on my phone and then a hybrid freestyle.
Okay.
So it's like, usually if I'm freestyling, it's just because I'm kind of figuring a track out. But I'll write a few lines here. But then typically when I record a few lines, the rest just kind of flow out of me. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I approach this track. It's just kind of how it happened naturally. But Off My Chest is the hardest song. It has like this little like Draco the Ruler vibe where I'm doing like a little bit of a whisper flow. Like I'm not really pushing myself super hard. The whole vibe of the EP is I'm like vocally I'm kind of keeping very chill. You know what I mean? I'm not exerting my voice too hard, but it's more so the words that I'm saying are very poignant. You know what I mean? Like they're sharp as a blade, bro. And like but I think that my energy of my approach to it, my cadence, the way that I'm saying these words is more so like let me just lay back and talk my shit. You know what I mean? And I think I love being in that pocket. But with Off My Chest, it's the most like extreme. Just because I'm so laid back on this track, I can't wait for people to hear it. There's a little snippet on my Instagram, but I'm excited for people to really be able to spin it.
Yeah.
And it's just a completely different energy that I feel I've unlocked, and I'm super proud of how I was able to pull it off.
That's fire. So
that's the track for sure.
That's your hardest song on it, but is that your favorite song on it?
I think Respect Me might be my favorite song.
Okay.
It changes every single day for me, bro. And that's why I like having such a short project, because like you get to really put a lot of attention into every single song. And like when people replay it, like there's not so much to pick from. You know what I mean? I like longer projects. I like shorter projects. I've always told myself for projects or albums for me, I never want to do more than like 12. I might not even do more than 10. We'll see how it goes. But this project, it's so short and it's like so to the point, so like short and sweet. Like I think everyone's gonna have a favorite.
Yeah.
And so I guarantee, like within the first week, I'm hoping that everyone's like, track 1 is my favorite. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I'm hoping to hear. So
right.
That's kind of what I tried to achieve with this EP. So
that's fire, man. And something you just said, it's a perfect segue into this next question. What is something, because you said everyone, what is something you want anyone who maybe isn't following you right now, but they listen to this EP, what do you want them to take away from this?
I want them to take away that this energy is within all of us, whether you're an artist or not. I think right now in this point of my life, bro, it's time for me to just kind of take a stand for myself. I've been learning to stand up for myself, which is something I was always bad at doing.
Man.
I've been trying to like be vocal about what I feel I deserve. Not to a point of being cocky or overbearing. And it's not that I'm asking for things from people, but it's more so I want people to take the energy that I'm exuding on this EP and put it in their personal lives. I want you to listen to SUMN LIGHT, all 5 tracks, and I want you to wake up the next day and be like, I'm going to go get that promotion I want on my job. I'm going to tell this person that they've disrespected me and that I don't appreciate it. Not being rude, but standing up for yourself, man. Like getting what you deserve out of this life. We put a lot of hard work into our own personal lives. And so if you listen to SUMN LIGHT, you got to get up the next day, get your bag, get what you deserve, and move throughout your day with a little bit of a different energy.
Yes,
that is the entire point of this EP. It is not for you to listen to it and say, oh, that's what Jorden Kyle has going on in his life. It's an energy through these songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can make them about you. Listen to the track. When I say think about yourself. Take that energy and run with it.
I respect that, man. Where can people listen to your music? Or to SUMN LIGHT?
Yeah, man, SUMN LIGHT and all the rest of my music is going to be on Spotify, Apple Music. I was watching my first interview that we did a couple days ago just to kind of prepare for the energy and vibe of this. And I realized when I spelt my name on our podcast.
You spelled it wrong?
No, I spelled it right, but I said Jordan with a K. There's no K in Jordan. So let me do it right.
How did I miss that?
Let me do it right this time. I go by Jordan with an E. There's no K in Jordan. Jorden space Kyle. So you can find me on everything. Spotify, Apple Music, spelled that way. And on Instagram, Twitter is Jorden Kyle. TikTok is spelled all the way out.
Right.
So,
and SUMN LIGHT is SUMN.
SUMN, SUMN space LIGHT.
That's fire, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course, man. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the time.
Of course.
March 11th, SUMN LIGHT.
Hey, by the time they listen to it, it's out.
Yeah.
It's out.
It's out now. It's out now.
Yes.
Yep. Appreciate it.
All right. Remember, when you think nobody's listening, somebody is.
Somebody is. Appreciate you, man.